Welcome one, welcome all. Be you young, old, short or tall. I'm your caster this morning, Renegade, and we're here at the ESL Pro Tour Open Cup number 13 on the EU server. In the top right corner, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome GPJames, the Red Terran, to the front stage. And in the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it's AmberDrake. Now, these two are both listed as their current screen names on the bracket, and neither of them appear to actually be ranked, so it's a little bit unclear what kind of MMR matchup we have going on here, but what I do know is 2 proxy racks are going down. So this tournament is starting out in the round of 128, so it's going to be a 7-round tournament. Of course, we do cast both semifinals, and we're going to be covering this tournament for about 4 hours, and then around noon EDT, we're going to be switching over to the Risen Star League group. Wait, is it Group H? Wait, what's the 8th letter of the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, that would be Group H. Where we have some great players lined up for you there. So that should take us through to, like, the finals, I do believe. Depends how quick the tournament goes, but this is a very aggressive proxy 3 racks. Reactor on one, Tech Lab on the other. So it looks like it's going to be a full-on bio play from this proxy. AmberDrake a little bit supply blocked, so the Stalker is going to be a little bit late hitting the field. GPJames getting a second Tech Lab, as well as Marauder slow. So normally, when you do this proxy Marauder, you keep 1 racks back here and have it pumping out Marines, but oh my god, it's been found by AmberDrake. The question is, how does he react to it? He does have a shield battery up at the front, but he's going to need a couple more units. Okay, he's going for 3 shield batteries, which is actually more than the fighting units he has on the field. He's going to change that around with second Stalker about to pop, and some shenanigans are about to ensue. 3 Marauders and a handful of Marines barreling down the map. This SCV is really far out in front. AmberDrake sniping the SCV could be huge, because that means there's not going to be any bunker here for the Terran. Shield batteries are going to hold down the front. For now, all the probes are pulled, but they're fighting out of range of the shield batteries, so they're not going to be able to tank as much damage as they otherwise would. 1 shield battery fully out of energy. Oh, Bio's just damaging everything faster than the shield batteries can heal. GG is called. In GPJames, well, we have visual. Oh no, my camera's on the screen, not like this. Okay. In the bottom left corner of Eternal Empire, as the blue Protoss, it's Harstem. And in the top right, as the red Terran, it's Control. So, we're here in the round of 64 of this round of 128 tournament. And I think this is going to be a pretty even matchup. Harstem is definitely a little bit favored. Last week, he made it pretty far. I want to say Harstem got knocked out in the semifinals. Both players sending out a scout. Unfortunately, I have no way to answer Maddox's question. Naruto was in the lobby. Yeah, there he is. Harstem sneaks in the probe. Take TV is doing the German cast. Shout out to them over there. Take TV and Naruto, of course, known for running Home Story Cup, or as it is right now, Stay at Home Story Cup. Control drops a second Nexus. And I think we're going to have a macro game here. Would not be surprised if we saw a Stargate out of Harstem. He seems to really like that kind of play nowadays. We've seen him go Void Ray. As speak of the devil, there's the Stargate. Oh my, oh lordy. Gonna see a couple Adepts coming out from our blue Protoss player as well. Control going in for the Reaper Scout, and Harstem almost gets an SCV kill. He does get a delay on the CC. The second SCV doesn't go to build the command center. This is actually massive damage to soft Control here. Control's also a really good guy. He's always around the community, always helpful, always friendly. Many players, even those of lower league than himself. The Adept tears through the Marine, avenges the probe, and gets even more delay on Control's CC. Harstem shades back. And Harstem sends out an Oracle. The Cyclone isn't reacting very quickly here from Control, so the Oracle's able to get 3 SCV kills. Mule is dropped at the second base for Control. Harstem's trying to get up a third. Man, you know, I thought this would be... I hate to say this, Control really puts his heart on his sleeve when he plays, but... Man, Harstem is getting so much damage done. 7 kills on the Oracle, 3 of them Marines, plus the 2 kills on his initial Adept, a Marine and an SCV, a huge delay on Control CC. It is important to note, though, I do believe, I don't know where Control's currently living, but I'm pretty sure he's playing with a large amount of ping going onto the EU server. So, basically, the rules for these Open Cups are, if you're on the Americas Open Cup, you have to play on the Americas server, unless you're, like, both European or both Korean, and agree to a different server. But yeah, basically on each server it's not regional locked. However, the home field team gets the advantage as far as what server is played on. And a lot more Marines get shut down here for Control. Harstem is totally in dominance of the map right now. This entire area outside of Control's natural is owned by Harstem. Harstem can do what he wants. He can take a 4th if he wants here. And I think he's actually going to do that, maybe. This pylon isn't, like, there to defend a 4th. It's just there to see incoming drops and such, but Harstem harasses into the main. It doesn't go too well for him. It's going to lose a Stalker. Additional barracks building for Control, and a medevac coming out of the starport. Reaper gets shut down. Oh, Harstem loses the Oracle. I mean, that Oracle did so much damage it paid for itself, but you can always have utility for Oracles throughout the game. It can be tagging the Terran army. It can be helping units fight, just launching down a couple lasers, picking off a Marine here and there, or, you know, going into harass and keeping the Terran at home. Harstem drops a 4th base. He's taking advantage of his map dominance to drop pylons along the left edge of the map to see any incoming Terran drops. And he's utilizing these stalkers to just slowly stutter step backwards and pick off a couple Marines at a time. Now, I'm trying to think of, like, ways Control can get back this game, but he's down in army supply, he's down in workers. The two players are even in upgrades, but Harstem's about to turn that around with +1 weapons hitting the field in the next 30 seconds or so, and disruptors are hitting the field as well. Control needs to go in and take out like 2 Nexi, as well as all these probes, as well as the defending units of Harstem here, while still holding the aggression back home from this Warp Prism. And Control has kind of stalled out. He's trying to deal with this drop in his main. Oh, he lost the CC. That was a kill on the command center. And GG is called. Harstem takes... Forgot to wait for the game to hook in. In the bottom right corner of Nightshade, it's the blue Protoss, Harstem. And in the top left, as the red Terran, it's Control. Harstem starting to wall off the Reaper jump. Would not be surprised at all if we saw another Oracle play. Control, it's got to be thinking like, oh, is he going to build the CC on the low ground again? I feel like this is a risky endeavor given how much damage Harstem caused in game number 1, just with the CC delay. Here comes the probe now. He's mean, he's blue, and he's ready for business. Oh no, Control's Reaper misses the probe! He saw it. It blipped on the minimap, but Harstem is going to close in on the SCV. A Marine comes down the ramp to help shut this down. Oh no, Harstem isn't right-clicking on the SCV. Okay. Control is going to eliminate the probe and claim first blood. Harstem is sending forward an Adept to do what the probe could not. In the meantime, the Reaper hits the Protoss base, is going to get zoned out by a second Adept. Marine's trying to buy time for the SCV. It is unsuccessful. Less than a second from completion. The CC is stopped in its tracks. Control pulls an SCV. Harstem's Adept was a little bit out of position to drop the first shot, so 3 shots do not go off in time. Stop the CC from finishing. A much better opening here from Control. Robotics facility, 80% of the way done. Control's Reaper is just conspicuously sitting in the top right corner, not really doing much at all. Reactor is finishing up on the factory. The second it does, factory moves out of position. Barracks is sure to land there. This is going to be a bio play from Control, which, I mean, it's TVP in 2020. You don't really see mech very often whatsoever in this matchup. SCVs trying to get a surround on the Adepts, are able to do so, but not before 7 of them go down. In the meantime, Control hit the other side of the map and took out 14 SCV, or 14 probes. But the worker damage is pretty much the same at this point. Harstem warps in a couple DTs. He's going to go to town on this missile turret. No, he picks up and pulls back as the scan wears off. He should be able to get this missile turret at the front. In fact, he does. Harstem Control needs to buy time for a scan. There's just so much damage done by Harstem. Blink's on the way for a blue Protoss. +1 about to finish for Control as he gets another Raven out. There isn't too much bio to push out with this +1 though, and Harstem already has a third up and running. Control zips out a medevac nonetheless. What have we got loaded in here? It looks like 4 Marauders ready to drop and start tearing the Protoss apart. Blink isn't quite finished, so Harstem is going to take a little bit to respond to this. Control drops an auto turret in the Protoss natural, and it looks like Control's going to get a snipe on the Dark Shrine. Oh, Harstem recalls to the main to try and shut this down, but the Dark Shrine snipe is completed, and that means Harstem's going to have a little bit of trouble responding to the low ground. Blink's not quite done. There it is! And now Harstem can blink to the low ground and shut this down, but not before a shield battery and a couple probes are lost. Oh, a couple Stalkers get bled out here as well. These Marauders will die, but they definitely paid their worth. 3 Stalkers, a Dark Shrine, and a few probes go down in exchange for their lives. What is a Marine but a miserable pile of DPS? The Symphony of the Night reference. Ghost Academy is finishing up for Control. Sure, we're going to see some EMPs mixed in with this Bio Army. Only one supply depot finishing up. He needs to throw down a lot more supply depots. This is a pretty big supply block for Control, and it's not good to be supply blocked when Harstem is sending a huge wave of Blink Stalkers your way. Harstem baits the Widowmine shots, blinks out before the missiles can make their connections. Look at this micro from Harstem. Control looks like he's ready to move out. He has a third CC building behind this, but it is really late. This is a really late third CC. Control needs to demolish the army of Harstem and then demolish the economy quite a bit as well. Protoss is on double the workers of the Terran. And Control only has 2 orbitals. So you can't really say that mules are too much of a factor in evening things up right now. The Dorito cannon goes off. Harstem's going to be a little bit scared to engage with those stalkers for now. Looks like he's going to circle back around and start picking off reinforcements. This is really smart from Harstem. Weakening the attack as it pushes into him and relying on the units that are already here to defend. And my god, are there units to defend. A ton of charge lots, a couple Immortals, and a couple Sentries in the mix here for Harstem. Nice force fields, trap a lot of the bio in Harstem's third location, and that's going to be GG. Harstem takes the series